The audio file you are about to hear is a story submitted by Georgiana C. to the Near Death Experience Research Foundation. I will leave a link in the description box below for your full review. If you or somebody that you know has had a near death experience or a miracle you would like to share with our audience, please reach out to sallyknopp@gmail.com. If you would like energy healing or clearing, please reach out to sallyknopp.com. Enjoy the audio. I have experienced other worlds and realms for as long as I can remember. As a child, as early as 1 year old, I could read people's energy. I had experiences of traveling in dreams and in waking states. When I told these experiences out to someone, I was laughed at. I felt judged as weird and humiliated. Consequently, I learned not to talk about my experiences. I found a way to manage what I felt and knew through artistic expression. It was a great cover, and I became very successful in later years professionally. As a teen, I found a copy of Linda Goodman's Sun Signs. I read and reread this over and over. Right from the first read, I knew there was so much more information out there that I could understand from this book. I did not have access to much astrological material other than what was on the public library shelves. Eventually, I forgot about my interest as I got on with life. I re-entered the world of astrology around 2017. At first, my interest was in making correlations and trying to understand my life. I studied it as a pastime and followed astrologer styles that resonated with me. Soon, I began using this accumulated knowledge to read charts for my friends and family. It all came so easy for me, but was just treated as a novelty by the people I read for. I then met someone in 2018 who would be considered a catalyst for my spiritual awakening. A metaphysical entanglement sent me down a path of unimaginable experiences that were expansive and soul crushing at the same time. I had unknowingly tapped into pure source energy. I woke up about 12:30 a.m. on March 19th, 2020. I felt something was wrong physically, but I also sensed a presence with me. I knew to surrender to that. I had no concept of thought or decision making. It was an effortless flow, as if gliding. I pulled on a jacket, picked up my car keys, and drove myself to the emergency room at the hospital. Again, I felt I was completely without thought. I was somewhere between an out-of-body state and yet fully conscious of my movements. It was the first week of COVID lockdown in my city. When I arrived at the hospital, the entrance was encased in white tents and 3 people in full hazmat gear approached me. Along with the sense of being out of body and the very real presence of the guide moving me, this was truly surreal visual experience. I was asked what I needed help with. I held up my wallet with the ID and I said, "I'm going down." I died right there at the entrance. I was given compressions and an injection. I remained flatlined for about 4 minutes. I'd suffered an LAD heart attack. A stent was implanted, and when I regained consciousness at 8:06 a.m., it was the start of the Vernal Equinox. During the experience, I found myself led by my guide in a space of whiteness. It was all light, but not what others described as bright light. I felt an indescribable calmness, an absence of all fear or confusion, and in a deep sense of relief. I was if I were on a threshold of nothing and everything all at once. There were no objects, only the essence of my guide was alongside me. I stood there through thought communication that was not quite telepathic because there were multiple energetic beings communicating at the same time. I knew they were there to receive my choice, my decision to return to my body or remain here. And during my recovery, I was fascinated by the depth of this restful sleep I experienced. It was as if I had slept for 1,000 years. I felt content and calm, with a sense of amusement and knowing what it was like to transition out of this life. I don't believe my next experience will be the same. And in retrospect, I feel I was in an emotionally purging crisis with my soul. I was so stressed and confused, alone and lost with what was happening to me. I was temporarily pulled out of my body and then rescued and rebooted. I also believe much more happened in the altered state before I regained consciousness. It's something I'd like to explore one day.